Hey, and welcome back to CFX Download. I'm Amy McLean. I'm here with my colleagues Noah Ziegler and John Saavedra. Hey guys, it's June. It's beautiful. It's vacation season. It's so nice, right?
It's so
It's
nice.
it's World Cup season, is what it
Mhm.
is.
Yeah, I'm totally invested. Is McDonald's giving out like special cups or something for the World Cup?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, I
Mm.
like cups. I like free things. I might have to go get that.
There you go. It's World Cup season.
Yeah, there's there's a lot of collectibles, and I'm seeing a lot of companies like I know Miller Lite had the Miller Lite match ball that sold out in less than a minute, and Michelob Ultra has something as well. So everyone's getting in on the fun.
Nice.
Not to derail, I have collectibles actually with me. I was at a Fox Sports event. Sorry, I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna
wound you
derail
up.
this into World Cup
Yeah.
conversation at this point. We had a different topic. We're talking World Cup. I'm kidding, but I did get this cool scarf from Fox Sports,
Ooh.
World Cup scarf, and they gave me the official match ball in miniature
nice.
size. So I actually have some actual World Cup collectibles to show. I'm very excited.
Well,
But anyway, I know we're not here to talk World Cup, but I had to make this all about me for like 2 minutes. That's it. We're good to go. It's out of my system now.
Well, it is World Cup season, but it also means we're halfway through the year, which is kind of shocking because I feel like we were just on this podcast talking about predictions and stuff for 2026, and now we don't have much further to go. But I don't know what surprised you guys so far the most this year in the CFX world.
Well, I already talked a lot, but I'll go first. Hi, it's John Saavedra from the future. So what I'm about to say is that I'm very surprised that the states have not challenged the Paramount Skydance Warner Brothers Discovery merger. But since we recorded this podcast, Reuters has reported that a challenge from California, New York, and other states does seem to be imminent. So we're going to let the rest of this podcast run as is, but just watch it with that context. And in fact, Amy does point out that even though the states haven't challenged it yet, there's still time. So just watch it with that context, and we'll keep this rolling. The Paramount Skydance Warner Brothers Discovery merger, obviously, that merger is currently seems good to go. The thing that surprised me is how little sort of regulatory pushback there's been so far, especially when compared to something like Nexstar Tegna, which is facing all of the pushback. But just from recent reporting, it seems that the FCC, the DOJ, is poised to give the deal the green light, especially after recent meetings with David Ellison and other execs. It seems like the FCC will likely approve the foreign investment in the deal. You know, obviously it affects CBS and those licenses. But then there's also the state attorneys general. Obviously, Rob Bonta, again, has been very active with Nexstar Tegna. So it's been sort of surprising to me that we haven't seen any state challenges yet. It's been a couple months. I know that they're aiming to close the merger by Q3, so sometime in the fall, I guess that would be. But reporting has said that internally they're aiming to close maybe by July. So they're trying to move really quickly, but I'm just surprised that there hasn't been more of a challenge yet. And I don't know, maybe it's coming, but maybe you guys can tell me.
Time. Yeah, remember the AGs didn't file against Nexstar Tegna until right at the end there. So literally the day before the FCC closed it, I think. So yeah.
Maybe it's because I just think of like how quickly they closed and how quickly the challenge came. You know, so I'm like, wait, you're right, but you're right. That did come all the way at the end of the timeline. It just all happened very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They don't consult me, sadly, but I'm not counting this one done yet, and certainly not done in July. I don't think that's going to be. I will go on record. I do not think that deal will get done by July.
Official prediction.
That's next month.
Set in stone. Set in stone.
I was going to say that is next month, isn't it? Yeah, but John, you mentioned Nexstar Tegna, and I don't think anybody's surprised about the pushbacks it's received because there was pushback right when that news dropped. But I think I'm surprised at how everything has gone down. It felt like all signs were pointing toward, hey, this is going to get an easy road delivered to the finish line, essentially. You know, again, even though there was a lot of noise around it, but it felt, once that press release crossed the wire, it's almost like that was the moment that just the momentum completely shifted, and I just whiffed on that snap. The momentum just shifted the other way, and obviously we had the states challenging and DirecTV challenging, but again, it just kind of felt weird how looking back, hindsight's 2020 and all that, but looking back, yeah, that was sort of a turning point. And okay, is the momentum in Nexstar and Tegna's court, or are we going to see it sort of have to struggle, if not ultimately never cross the actual finish line, despite it saying that it is closed? But we'll see. But for me, another surprise in the first half, just how much T-Mobile has come out and denied convergence being a legitimate trend. And it's one thing for them to say something that, hey, it's not our North Star. And Verizon even said it's not our centerpiece, but it's a key part of our company. And T-Mobile is here. I think the CFO, Peter Osvaldik, referred to it as a mythical thing or something, just it kind of to that nature. And, it's kind of funny because T-Mobile is kind of doing convergence. They're just not really calling it that, I guess. So, hey, whatever they got to do. But meanwhile, again, Verizon and AT&T, they're definitely aware of it, and they're leaning into it, and they're aware of it being beneficial with churn reduction and a number of other ways. But even beyond the wireless world, on the cable side, we know how important convergence is. So it's interesting to see how much T-Mobile has pushed back against that. And I guess maybe that's a thing to think about. Why are they doing that? Why are they kind of being very upfront and maybe not aggressive, but they are going to these investor conference appearances and they're choosing their language carefully when it comes to that. So again, they've been pretty adamant that convergence isn't really a real thing. It's just a label that was made up, I guess.
Maybe that's part of being the uncarrier. You have to be the convergence contrarian just so you can be a little different, right?
That's true.
The unconverger.
The unconverger. Yeah, forget uncarrier. Let's start calling them that. The unconverger. I love it. Oh, that's going in the CFX. So I guess when I was thinking about what I was surprised by the most recently, it would probably be, I was surprised to see G Fiber buying Astound. But maybe I shouldn't be surprised by that, because we said we knew going into a new administration, Republican administration, it was green lights for mergers, right? We've seen that. There's plenty happening in that space. It seems like everybody's looking for a dance partner right now, and I think that was illustrated like most clearly when we saw Armstrong close its deal to acquire MCTV out there in Massillon, Ohio. That is a family-owned company for generations. I think they're like 61 years old. And here they are saying, yeah, we're ready to sell. So I guess I still am surprised to see G Fiber buying us down, but there's probably going to be more of that, I think, is what I would predict, right?
I think so. It has been interesting, just G Fiber kind of growing and growing over the past 10, 15 years. And that was sort of it kind of did, I feel like it caught everyone off guard when it happened, but it does make sense.
It does make sense too, because Astound had these, Patriot Media was sort of running Astound, and we've sort of seen that group of like core operator leaders, they were already breaking up, right? Steve Simmons, the CEO, he retired. I think he's painting and having a great retirement. Good for him. Chris Finger was the COO, and he retired a couple years ago. Jim Holanda is now running Cable One. John Godovan, I think he's still hanging in there, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him doing something soon, because I don't know, these guys just seem to have management operations in their blood. But yeah, I guess another surprise for me has been that we are still seeing continued BEAD delays. We have to talk about BEAD for a little bit. There's still that $21 billion of non-deployment money on the table. And that's where this Trump administration came in. They basically made the states rebid those funds with a tech neutral focus. And that was the savings, right? The $21 billion. And the states have been waiting to hear how they can spend that money. NTIA was expected to provide some rules and guidelines for that back in March. And then they said, oh, we need a little more time. And now it's June and we still don't know. So I know a lot of people are anxious to hear how that money can be spent. I know operators would like to see some of it go to their favorite word, permitting. That's been a big problem. I don't exactly know how that works. Like, is it maybe more more officials who can help with permitting, like maybe it's funding that they can use. But I know that they probably all have a lot of ideas and have shared them with NTIA.
It feels like BEAD has been just at this stopping point, stop and go for however many years now. And it's at this point, it's like, are we there yet? Are we ever going to get there? At this point, I wonder what truly lies in its future and how everything's going to transpire. But it's been a long process and not by choice.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the future, I wanted to do something a little fun to end the podcast, which was to revisit our predictions. I don't know if you remember, we made some predictions at the beginning of the year. I've been very excited to do this because it turns out that I'm the only one that predicted something correctly out of the three. I do want to start with Noah's because Noah's was by far the spiciest. So Noah, do you want to remind us? Do you want to remind us what your prediction was?
My bad for trying
how
to
that's going.
Go outside the box. I may or may not have. First, just to be clear, I was very, very upfront with how much I didn't think this was actually going to happen. I just wanted to make the long shot bet. Wanted to place that parlay that would win me $1 million. But and at this point, I could probably go on Kalshi or Polymarket and bet on this exact thing. But I predicted Olivia Trusty leaving the FCC. She is extremely professional. She just doesn't give me the vibe that she would want to be part of the sort of outer external happenings. And I don't know. It's only the first half. We still have an entire second half to go. So we'll see what happens. But I will say in the past couple weeks, I kind of thought back to that prediction and was like, yeah, there's no way. There's no way this is coming to fruition. So we'll see, though.
And your prediction was very safe, I feel like. I mean, you can brag all you want.
I was gonna cop to that. I promise. But let the record show, either way, John was right. John was 100% right about this. My prediction was that with the WWE partnering with ESPN on premium live events, that we'd see premium live events back on cable and back on linear. And actually, WrestleMania was on linear TV, I think, for the very first time in its history this year. WrestleMania 42 ESPN aired the first hour of the show on linear before showing the rest on DTC. So it was basically, I did a little bit of reporting on this. I did a lead a couple weeks ago. It was a way to create awareness around what's going on in DTC for more casual fans. Whether we'll ever see a full PLE on linear or on cable, I'm not sure, but it seems like they're at least using every sort of channel to promote the WWE programming. So again, John was right. Was it a safe bet? Maybe. But John was right. The point was to be right, I think. And in that sense, then, that's all I'll say. And then Amy, obviously, you had a pretty great prediction, actually. So if you want to share, it hasn't happened yet, but, both companies have been moving, one on M&A and the other one sort of shifting their focus towards streaming, which was a reason why you said that one would acquire the other. So if you want to remind everyone.
Yeah, I don't know though. So my prediction was that Versant would buy AMC Global Media. They changed their name recently to AMC Global Media. And I think that's still possible. I've been listening to Versant and Mark Lazarus on a lot of these. He's been making a lot of appearances, I feel like, recently. And they definitely seem open to M&A if it makes sense and makes sense financially. That's really crucial to them. But they also keep talking about their news and sports portfolio and how that fits in so well with the skinny bundle out there, because they do have a lot of linear assets, right? So does that mean AMC fits what they're trying to do? I'm not sure. They don't really have the news and sports. So maybe it's not such a good bet after all. I still think there's they have some entertainment and they have some good entertainment. They have USA. So there's still a possibility there, but I'm feeling a little less confident in that prediction, I'll be honest.
You still have half a year to go. Before I want to do just to make this about the World Cup, I'll put on my official World Cup scarf, so we know we're making this about the World Cup again. For 2 seconds, but can we each predict who's going to win?
Oh, What?
Amy, you have to go. You have to pick someone.
Is USA even in play? Are they playing?
Yes.
USA is in it. USA's hosting, of course. They're in it. They're in it. But Noah, who do you think is gonna take
Amy,
it?
I'm sorry, but that was exactly I told John, I was like, well, don't say anything. Let's just
Yeah, we're not going to tell Amy. She's just going to have to say someone. Yeah.
Is
We'll
is
see
David Beckham in it? Is it okay? No, all right.
No.
David Beckham and Pele.
He'll be in the stands probably. He'll be there in a box. In
Haley
box
will
seats.
not be there. But speaking of, actually, I'll go. This is not a long shot pick, but I don't think this is necessarily one of the favorites. I'll go Brazil. I'm confident more so in their manager than their squad, and especially kind of the hijinks around Neymar. But I'm a big fan of Don Carlo. John, I assume you are as well. So I'll go with Brazil, even though I do lean sort of the France-Spain route, but I'll go a little bit outside the box.
Obviously, my heart says Colombia. Vamos, Colombia. But my brain tells me it's probably going to be Spain. They just have such a talented team. They have all the momentum behind them. And speaking to other people in the industry, I have also heard several people say Spain's going to win.
I love a good upset, so I hope there's some surprises.
I think there will be. I mean, there's 48 teams. There's bound to be,
Well, as we wait to see how the World Cup happens, we still also have half a year to go. It'll be interesting to see where we are 6 months from now. And in the meantime, that's it for CFX Download. Remember, you can watch full episodes of the podcast on YouTube, or you can listen on Spotify and Apple. And you can find all of our in-depth coverage at cablefax.com. See you next time.